Guys, Dr. Jordan Axe here, and I want to talk about the cause is the cure. A lot of people ask me about my mom and what we did with her and her ability to naturally reverse cancer, or maybe you want to know the steps we took, or you just want to know how you can prevent cancer, or maybe you're going through cancer treatment and you want to know how you can do conventional and make it stronger and work better with less symptoms by adding holistic means to your current cancer treatment. Or maybe you just want to stay healthy and make sure you never get cancer. We're going to go over exactly what I recommend to my patients and exactly what Winona asked my mom, some of the things that we recommended and we've done with her over the years. My mom didn't just have cancer, she had a lot of other issues: fatigue, chronic viral infections, issues with her mood, gut issues, constipation. Um, but she's just an amazing story, and she's an amazing person in her fight for cancer. And her life wasn't just to live, right? Not just to be alive, but to actually live and be there for her grandchildren and help other people with their faith, with their health. So it's just a great story. And it's not just about fighting cancer, it's about helping others and living life to the fullest. That's what this is about, not just cancer. So I want to talk about the 3 steps to preventing, reversing cancer, or rebuilding from it, okay? So this is what we're going to talk about today. First one, stop making cancer cells by getting to the cause of why your body was making extra cancer cells in the first place. So we're going to go over each 5 and how to correct them. Next, how can you specifically and safely kill the cancer cells? You can't just kill them if you don't figure out what's causing it first. But once you have it, we need to speed up that process and kill those cancer cells. I'm going to go over some of my top protocols for that, okay? And test, don't guess, right? If you're treating yourself holistically, you need to monitor and make sure you're getting better. And if you're not getting better, we need to take other means, okay? So, and then I'm going to give you guys a 6-month example regimen of what I recommend to my patients, or I recommended to my mom, so you can see what does actually treatment look like over a 6-month period of time. And you can take that and use that. A lot of people just are confused. They take this, take that, do this, do that. It's just so much. If you can put it in order and do it and plan it out, it's going to work a lot better. So what causes cancer? Let's talk about the causes here. We're going to go over gut imbalances and hidden infections in the gut, genetic issues that can cause deficiencies, toxicity, your adrenals, your hormones, and big one here, emotions, right? Your emotions, your brain, your thoughts, your neurological system, and how that plays a factor with cancer. Before we jump into those causes, I want to give you guys a little bit of background information here. So cancer, the new hypothesis behind cancer is it's a natural wound healing related process. If the cause of the wound persists, the continuous natural process will lead to clinical cancer mass. Basically what that is saying is if you damage your tissue, you rub it, you irritate it, over time, if that does not go away, it will turn into cancer, okay? So we need to start asking ourselves, why is the tissue chronically being irritated and not going away, right? An infection is an example of that. An infection's there. If it goes away, inflammation comes, clears up. But if the infection stays there, then the cancer is going to build over time. Harvard really demonstrated this in a great way, showing the disease process. 100% function being your body is healing itself, 100% killing cancer cells, all that. 0% means you're dead, essentially. So if your organ system, your immune system, is only working at 60%, you're going to develop a symptom. Could be a headache, could be constipation, could be fatigue, anything. Now, if that disease process continues and your body functions all the way down to 40% function, cancer, heart disease develop. An actual disease develops. Now, the entire problem with our healthcare system is they don't diagnose you with cancer. They don't treat it until you're at 40%, right? And you have cancer. None of our diagnostic tools or treatments are designed to catch at 50%, 60% and treat you. We need to start being proactive and do the right testing and start treating you at 50, 60, 70% so you never get it, then wait until you have 40% function, you have cancer, in major disease. That's my goal for you, to get you to 100%, not tiptoe around 40%. And this is why our healthcare system does not work. It's because we wait and we don't have the right diagnostic tools and the right treatments to treat you. And that's why people are frustrated, okay? If you want to get treated from 0 to 40%, go see your conventional doctor. If you want to go from 40 to 100, you see a functional medicine doctor or people that practice more holistically. So why can't your doctors help? I love this little funny meme over here. Good news, your test indicates that you're in the normal range, which is clear on the low end. So again, just kind of like what I said, most doctors are running tests to look at major disease, not dysfunction. Great example is the kidneys. Doctors won't tell you you have kidney disease until they're operating at 40%. And that's because the tests don't show it and they have no treatment for it. Same thing is true with cancer. So we got to get out of that mindset. So let's jump into one of the first ones here, toxicity, one of the top 5 causes. Now, toxins can lead to cancer because toxins damage and irritate your tissue. And if you chronically irritate a tissue, that equals cancer, right? That's the new hypothesis. You irritate, damage a tissue, turns into cancer, okay? So let's talk about toxicity here. Big one, dental. You have toxins, amalgam, mercury fillings, that's toxic. Sometimes you can get infections in there, which releases biotoxins. I could talk for hours about dental. Big deal, find a biological dentist and get that taken care of. Pesticides are spraying in our foods. That's why you get organic. Heavy metals. A lot of times people work in those industries, and I always recommend a heavy metal detox once your gut is in good working order to get those toxins out of the body. Mold. Some states, a lot of humidity, mold is bad. You get a leak in a faucet or a pipe somewhere, gets in your wall. Mold is a big toxic issue. And we do testing, urine testing, if we suspect that. Plastics. Everything's made out of plastic now. Start using glass instead of plastics. Prescription drugs. Drugs are toxins, right? They all say toxic on them. So here's an example of different medications: cholesterol, antidepressants, and this graph shows you CoQ10, B12, zinc. Every medication depletes you in tons of different minerals and vitamins. So not only are these medications toxic and can lead to cancer, but and weaken your immune system, opening you to cancer, but they create deficiencies, which opens you up even more to deficiencies. Here's an eye test. You can go online, vcstest.com. It's an eye test, and there's fat behind your eye. Toxins bind to fat. That's where your body stores them. So it'll affect your ability to see gray. And so this eye test online will show your toxic levels. Pretty cool, cheap little preliminary test. If you want to get more in-depth for toxicity testing, we do urine testing. And here's an example of someone that had lead and mercury, so in their entire endocrine system off. Mold, again, urine testing, that's a big one. If we suspect that's a problem, that can totally tank your immune system, cause cancer, cause chronic fatigue, chronic sickness, respiratory issues. All right, toxicity. So now let's talk about the gut. Okay, this is the big one. 80% of your immune system lives in the gut. You cannot have a healthy immune system without having a healthy gut. It's simply impossible. That's where it lives. And chemo especially thins that membrane in your gut, makes it very thin, breaks the gut shield membrane, and allows toxins, proteins to get in the blood, which causes an immune reaction, which lowers your immune system's ability to kill and fight cancer cells. I could talk about the gut again for hours. Hugely, hugely important. It's your immune system. Your immune system is what kills cancer cells. If you want to learn more about gut testing that we do and how to treat the gut and the importance of it, go to Gut Testing Diagnostic Solutions. Just search that, go to my channel, Dr. Jordan Axe, and on YouTube, that's the name of the video. Top gut diets. GAPS is a broth soup diet to let the gut healing lining heal. Paleo or autoimmune paleo for autoimmune conditions. And keto is one of my favorites because ketones actually have cancer fighting properties, and cancer feeds off of sugar. 6 times more receptor sites. So if you don't eat any sugar, then the cancer has no fuel and will can't grow. But if you eat a ketogenic diet and a lot of fat, the fat breaks down into ketones, which helps kill cancer, and you're starving off the cancer. So again, keto is one of my favorite for that. Stool, kind of talking about the gut again. Here's an example of what happened to me. I had a normal bacteria. You can see high, 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 high. Next page, overgrowth bacteria, high, high, high. And so I was causing a lot of eczema, skin issues, fatigue. And I put cancer in the autoimmune category because it's a dysregulation of your immune system where it's overactive, but then it's underactive and it can't fight cancer. That's what I had. So a stool test is going to show you overgrowth, and mine, it showed that steatocrit, I wasn't breaking down fat, elastase, I wasn't breaking down protein, and because of that, my inflammation marker at the very bottom was very high. And then you see that immune response, secretory IgA. You need a good immune response to be able to fight cancer. So getting the immune system up in the gut, this shows you what those levels are. And you can see here, I had horrible eczema from the gut issues. I cleared that up. My autoimmune condition cleared up, skin cleared up, and I'm sure my body is fighting cancer much more effectively than it was before. And these are just my pre and post. Again, I love to, whether it's cancer, autoimmune disease, I like to test to say, hey, here's your numbers. You were really bad. You were 289 for me, and now boom, you're down to 40. Huge improvement. So just to test whether this stuff works. I've reversed hundreds, if not thousands, of cases of autoimmune disease with what we're going over in cancer cases. So it's not genetics. A lot of people think cancer is genetic. And there is some truth to that. Genetics predisposes to things. But your genes can get turned on and off by the hormones and enzymes and so forth in your body. And there's testing to look at your hormones and look at your enzymes and get everything regulated so that those bad cancer genes aren't activated. So we're going to go over that testing so that you can start to control your genes. So I said, don't be controlled by your parents, aka your genes. Great Plains Labs, this is a test. We order this in bulk because we do so much of it. So we get it for about half price for our patients. And this is how you can start to control your genetics and get everything balanced like it needs to be. So I'm going to go over just some of the top things that we can find on this test. And this helps us get to the root cause. Energy production. You need energy for your immune system to fight cancer. So this shows us fatty acid metabolism, all your B vitamins, your CoQ10, amino acids. So as far as energy production, really important. And I know if you're like me, always struggle with energy. So if I can have more energy, that's something I want to look into. It shows us genetic factors with methylation. A lot of people have genetic mutations where they don't make energy properly. And this shows us those methylation pathways and how to correct it. Microbiome assessment. We just talked about how important the gut is. So this is going to show us bacteria, probiotic count, yeast, fungus, all those different markers. Neurotransmitters for good mood, right? If you're in a bad mood, you create a toxic environment in your body and you're more predisposed to having cancer. That's why they say the best treatment for cancer is laughter. Being in a good mood and having good neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, those happy chemicals. So this is going to show us all those neurotransmitter levels to get you in a better mood, feeling better. Okay? And oxidative antioxidant markers. Antioxidants help from free radical damage that leads to cancer. Detox, we just talked about toxicity. It shows us how your detox pathways are, if there's any deficiencies there. So again, as you can see, an amazing test I recommend to a lot of patients to try to figure out your genetics, get your nutrients in balance, gut pathways. It shows us a little bit of everything. So let's talk about one of the last causes here, the brain and the neurological system, and your mindset is so important. My mom, one of the biggest things she did was she started going to church more. She started praying for healing. She started to work positive affirmations. I will heal. I will get better. and just being positive and happy, and that's so important to fighting cancer. Most people with cancer, there's an emotional component, a breakup, a divorce, a move, something very stressful, a death in the family. So your mindset can activate or shut down bad genes. They did it 2003, a study, and test subjects focused on feelings were able to intentionally cause a change in the shape of their DNA. Negative emotions caused two strands to wind more tightly. Positive emotions caused DNA strands to unwind. Positive changes exhibited in just 2 minutes. Amazing study showing the effectiveness of your thoughts will change your genetics. So we talked about the brain and your mindset. Let's talk about the neurological system, because your neurological system is what controls your immune system and tells, hey, this organ, release this, kill the cancer cells. Hey, this release, do this. It's the communication highway, okay? To call cancer killing system into high gear, your nervous system releases interleukin 2, which activates killing of cancer cells, okay? A chiropractic adjustment temporarily influences interleukin 2 regulated biological response following a single adjustment. So just showing you chiropractic and balancing and getting the entire neurological system working better is going to tell that immune system to release things like interleukin 2. So really cool study on the importance of the spine neurological system. Damaged nerves allow cancer cells to develop. A lot of people have pinched nerves or slipped disc or bulging disc or just back pain, neck pain, which is an indicator that the nerve is being compressed. And so they found out that if you totally cut the nerve, the previously tumor-resistant tissue became receptive to grafts of tumors. So a tissue that was fighting cancer, they cut the nerve supply and it started to grow cancer, essentially is what this is saying. So another great testimony that proper, not just getting adjusted, but physical therapy, stretching, decompression, posture, working all that is hugely important. That's why all of our patients, I take x-rays, I look at their posture, I look at their spinal mobility, and I give them things to do to improve upon it. So again, a little recap. We talked about the causes. Before we move on, how to kill cancer, little recap. We talked about gut, deficiencies, genetics, how you can do organic acids testing to figure out what that is, toxins, get those out of your life, dental, etc. Do testing to figure out if there's any other toxins you're getting exposed to. And we talked about the emotional, neurological component there. So the last thing I really want to talk about is that adrenal hormone component and how to balance that. Now, the adrenals are extremely important because if they're off, it's going to tank your immune system, right? If you're tired all the time, your immune system's down. So on the very left-hand side here, you can see cortisol production. You can see this person's, it peaks in the morning and then it crashes in the afternoon. They're tired after lunchtime, and then at nighttime they're buzzed, wired, can't go to sleep. This has to get regulated because this is going to regulate all your hormones and it's going to help keep your immune system stable so you can fight cancer. So really important to look at that stress response, that adrenal response. And then on the right hand side, really important for cancer is your estrogen. A lot of cancers might be estrogen positive, which means that estrogen is going to turn the cancer on. Now, the one that we want to be specific with, we can't just generally talk about estrogen. Some estrogen's good, some is bad. It's all about balancing it when it comes to cancer, not just reducing it, okay? Because if you reduce it too much, you have a whole nother set of health problems. So if you look at this graph here, estrogen, we have E1, E2, and E3 right here in the middle right. Now, if you see that red line of E1 gets converted into 3 different types of E1. The red one is the bad one. If that's high, we got to get that down. That increases your risk of cancer. Then on the bottom here, that also gets converted through a methylation process. So if you don't methylate well, you're not going to convert your estrogens properly. So anyways, I can go into this for hours as well, but all these hormones on this entire graph need to be balanced, and they all work specifically together to keep your body healing and to keep your immune system functioning properly. And this is called a Dutch hormone test, And this is something we also get discounted because we order in bulk and can get those for you. So let's talk about the last thing here. How do we actually kill cancer? I'm going to give you my top 5 right here. Fasting. Fasting is huge. Again, there's a lot of information there, but Dr. Jockers does have a 5-day mimicry fast. He writes about, or you can do intermittent fasting, which is where you look at the chart here in the middle. You eat for 8 and you fast for 16. So that means you'd only eat, say, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that kind of fasting can be beneficial. But water fasting, your body starts to break down cancer cells just for fuel, essentially tumors, tissues that your body's not using. So tons of benefits to water fasting, juice fasting, intermittent fasting. It's all good. And I sit down with patients and decide which one is best for them. Hyperbaric. There's a picture of a hyperbaric. That is a chamber of increased oxygen. It pushes oxygen deep into your tissues. Cancer grows in a non-oxygen environment. So if you get oxygen in there, you can help fight cancer. Okay, that's a really big one. Ozone. Ozone has 3 molecules of oxygen. Ozone not only kills infections, right? And we talked about hidden infections can damage a tissue. If you damage a tissue for a long period of time, it leads to cancer. Okay? So it kills and clears infections. What else ozone does is it modulates your immune system. If one part's high, it'll bring it down. If one part's low, it'll bring it up. So it kills cancer cells within contact. It clears infections that causes cancer, and it helps modulate the immune system so that your body can fight cancer on its own. So that's why it's so amazing, because there's so many things that it does. Vitamin IVs, high dose vitamin C especially is great, even if you're going through chemo radiation and you need to recover more quickly. Vitamin C and IVs are great for that. Herbs, essential oils. This is ancient cancer treatment, really. So again, a lot of benefits to frankincense. Essential oil is amazing, but any kind of essential oils and herbs are going to be great. And we're going to go over a few more of those. So those are my top 5 on how to actually kill cancer. Top supplements. Betaine HCl, that's stomach acid. So a lot of us, as we age and are tired, we have cancer, stomach acid production goes down. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of the things that increases your white blood cells, which can fight cancer cells. Garlic. Garlic is very anti-cancerous, antiviral, antibacterial. Raw garlic, crushing up, eating that daily. Turmeric. Tons of studies with turmeric and cancer. Pancreatic enzymes. Enzymes increase enzymatic activity, so it actually helps break down cancer and tumors. Essiac. Essiac tea. They also make a tincture of Essiac. Barlow Herbal is a little local family-owned company. Online you can buy their products and get that in tincture form. So those are just, again, there's hundreds of supplements to help fight cancer. These are just kind of some of the top ones I wanted to give you that are easy to access and you can start to do today. A cool little testimonial here. Tammy, she's a cancer survivor, ozone user. She's got great testimonials to how well that works. And if you go to the truthaboutcancer.com/cancer, you can see the link there. You can actually find her story and how she was using us and other cancer techniques, how she's able to overcome it, and she's in the best health of her life. Everyone recently got sick in her family except her. That's how well she's doing, and ozone was one of the things that helped her. Let's go over the top 4 tests. Thermography is a thermal image of your body where you can see inflammation. There's going to be inflammation before you ever have cancer, and that's why that one is so big. Okay, and you can monitor the progress of how well you're doing on an inflammatory basis. Ultrasound. A lot of times I like to see the tumor size, so if we're going through treatment, I want to know what the progress is. Blood test, inflammatory markers, thyroid, endocrine. We do a lot more in-depth blood testing than other doctors do, even oncologists. Looking at CEA, circulating tumor markers. We want to monitor that to show you your progress, let you know the natural things you do are actually working. That's very important. Organic acid testing we went over, stool testing we went over. So these are just some of my top 4 tests that I recommend here for cancer treatment and monitoring the progress of it. So I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like just so you can get a visual. But again, that's my job, is to sit down with you, figure out what testing you need, and say, here's what you need to do, here's the order that you need to do it. So for example, you might do some GI work, phase 1, do a keto diet, and might implement the hyperbaric chamber. 60 days later, we might move on, we might start to do ozone and vitamin IVs, then we start to support the adrenals, get your hormones balanced, get the immune system up, and then at the end of that, we might retest to make sure we're moving in the right direction. Then we might move on using essential oils to reduce cancer cells, coffee enemas to detox, and a heavy metal detox to get those heavy metals out of your body. Stage 4, we might start to balance the neurological system to get that immune system built. We're going to start using fasting techniques to take those tumors and start to shrink them and break those down. And then again, we retest to make sure you're moving in the right direction. So guys, it's time to start your cancer killer journey. And whether, again, you're trying to prevent cancer, you're trying to recover from cancer treatment, or you're going through cancer treatment and you want to bolster what you're doing, it's time to start that journey. It's a big deal, 1 in 3 people, okay? Your life depends on it. This isn't, I just want to feel a little bit better. This is your life, your vibrance, and your happiness. So please share this video with anyone that's watching that has cancer or has gone through that, because again, it's a huge epidemic right now. So kind of some information I want to give you guys. For a 1-hour appointment, we charge $165. And with that hour appointment, I'm gonna lay out a 6-month roadmap of exactly what you need to do. We're gonna talk about ozone and IVs and everything, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, yes, you should do this, no, you shouldn't. Hey, dietarily, here's what you should do. Here's what testing you should do. And I'm gonna give you all the protocols, all the resources so that you can do it yourself. That 1 hour really is life-changing, and I enjoy that hour with you, being able to help you change the course of your life and your family's life. So please give us a call. I have the number here on the screen, or go to our website if you just want to learn a little bit more. But again, this is I feel blessed that I can help you with these things. I feel like I have a moral obligation. I have the answers. I have the resources that you need to save your life. And I have to share that, and help me by also sharing it with your loved ones, family members, or people you know that are struggling with this. They need to know this information. They need to know that there is an answer and they don't have to live with it. So you now also have a moral obligation to share this information and help me reach my vision and goal, helping people like my mom overcome cancer naturally. I know if she didn't know this information you're learning, she might not be here today. Which is really sad to think about. But it's changed my life, it's changed her life. I hope this changes your life. Please give us a call, go to our website, get a consult so I can help you on the journey to recovery. Thanks, guys.